Hi, I'm Ayo, and together with my co-founders Ahmed and Malta, we are digitizing the second largest consumer industry in the world, the car industry. Right now, there are over 36 million used cars sold across Europe per annum, but for car owners, the process of selling a car is a long and painful one where you're having to make a continuous trade-off between getting the best sales price or selling conveniently. If you want the best sales price, you can sell on C2C platforms like Mobile and Autoscout, typically taking on average 60 days, dealing with endless phone calls, negotiations, test drives, and eventually you may get a good price. If you want to sell conveniently, you can take your car to the first online or offline car buyer that you see, and such as Auto One Group or your nearest car dealership, and they'll take your car off your hand in a second, but you leave thousands of euros on the table. For car dealers, it is difficult to source high-quality inventory for three reasons. One, they're increasingly reliant on sporadic walking, so really hoping that the right person at the right time with the right car walks into their store and they're able to make a transaction. Two, online wholesalers and OEMs have all recognized the opportunity in selling directly to consumers and are increasingly bypassing the dealers and therefore squeezing them in the value chain. And three, if or when dealers actually purchase from online wholesalers, they're dealing in a situation where they haven't, due to the multiple intermediaries in the wholesalers' value chain, you have a situation where margins are stacked on top of each other, and that increases the cost for the dealer. And when we look at this, we realize that there must be a better way, a way in which you can sell a car conveniently without leaving money on the table. And that's where Gomoto comes in. We allow you to sell directly to car dealers nationwide, utilizing our C2B marketplace. And for sellers, we provide them the best price, best convenience, and the highest level of trust, whilst at the same time, for the car dealers, we provide them a reliable acquisition channel of high-quality inventory and simple logistics, and really creating more value than current incumbents with an asset-light model. How does this work? Well, you come onto our platform, you put in your car details, and we give you an initial price estimate. You then go into our digital appraisal, which is made up of three key elements. One is the checklist of questions that we've validated with dealers, such as how many car owners do you have? Do you have a valid TÜV? Do you have your winter tires? And this is information that dealers need to know in order to purchase online. The second element is the guided photos. So in the example on screen here, if you say you have a VW Polo, we pull up the traceout of a Polo and you place your car within that traceout and you take 16 different guided photos from 16 different angles. And this creates high quality standardized photos for the dealer to easily appraise the car. And then the final element is your VIN. So with the VIN, we're able to pull your the factory details on your car and create a high quality listing based off your checklist, questions, the guided photos, and your VIN. Your car then goes into our auction, where it's auctioned to our dealers nationwide. Once the auction is over, you get presented with the results. And if you're happy with it, your car gets picked up and you get paid. And we shorten what typically would have taken 60 days on other platforms into a less than 7-day process. Right now, there's a huge window of opportunity. There are currently market tailwinds resulting from the huge spike in demand for used cars. Due to the microchip shortage, there's reduced the supply of new cars, with people waiting over 6 months for a new car. Two, there's a huge gap in the market right now. The asset-light model does not currently exist in the German market, and is perfectly counter-positioned to the existing asset-heavy models run by the incumbents. And finally, the asset-light digital C2B model has been proven at scale in the UK by Motorway, who've raised over 300 million euros, including with participation from investors like Index Ventures, and also now doing thousands of auctions a day and really proven that it works at scale. As already mentioned, there's over 36 million used cars sold in Europe per annum. In euro amount, that is 500 billion euro market size. When we segment that further and looking at just the German market and the addressable market in Germany, we have a 71 billion euro SAM. And when we look at our online penetration, or rather the penetration of online sales in the German market, we come to a 1.4 billion euro SOM. In terms of how we make money, it's a commission-driven model. So we take a 7% take rate on a 10K average order value, and that allows us to have a 700 euro commission. When you take a step back to look at how we are compared to the largest incumbent in the German market, Auto One Group, for us, we are a pure play marketplace. The same way Airbnb does not own the properties on its platform, we do not own the inventory on our platform. Meaning we don't carry any inventory risk, We are more capital efficient as we don't have to finance physical assets, and also we are more resilient to changing market conditions. And this is in stark contrast to the digital car dealer model run by the AUTO1 Group. And when you take a step further, it's really this asset-light model and combination of the seller value, so this is the price and convenience, that really differentiates us versus the market, where we have three main buckets: the C2C platforms, the C2B platforms, and the traditional car buyers. We've made a lot of progress in a short space of time. We founded the company in June this year. We launched our MVP towards the end of July, and we've since seen really good commercial traction with over 150 inquiries on our platform, which has resulted in 120 listings on our platform. And as we only launched in the Berlin region, we've also been able to acquire over 10 dealers onto the platform. And this has allowed us to actually get the first transaction and sell the first car on the platform within the first month. The goal now is to really accelerate this early traction and accelerate to over 1 million in cumulative GMV by Q2 next year. And we see this in 3 phases. Phase 1, which is the phase we're currently in, where we're building out the foundational product and really ensuring that all elements are in place, to really accelerate into phase 2, where we have the nationwide rollout and really take advantage of the regional price differences and arbitrage that. And finally, phase 3, where we start to acquire the dealership groups, which allows us to improve our dealer mix and transact a wider variety of cars on our platform. And all of this is made possible by a very strong team. We have a combined over 27 years automotive, marketplace, and technical experience. Malte is a second-time founder with over 10 years automotive experience, including at Renault, Audi, and AUTO1's sales and operations team, where he worked directly with the CEO Christian Bertenmann on strategic projects within the sales team, and also working with the VP of operations to roll out operational improvements. And he leads our sales and operations team. Ahmed has over 10 years of software development experience, including at e-commerce giants like MyTheresa, as well as also running his own tech agency in Egypt, and he leads our product and engineering efforts. And finally, we have myself. With experience across 2 marketplace scale-ups in both London and Berlin, most recently a chief of staff in ZenJob, and also supporting over 60 million of funds being raised, and I lead our marketing and fundraising efforts. So together, we know how to build marketplaces, we have the industry experience, and we have the technical experience to execute on Gomoto. If you're as excited as we are, then join us in digitizing the automotive industry and get in touch. Thank you.
So thanks for the question. The German and the UK market are very similar. Both markets are very equal in size. Over 100 billion euros worth of cars are being sold in each market per annum. There's also a high level of similarity in terms of market structure. Both markets have incumbent C2B and C2C players. There is a difference in terms of market segmentation. In Germany, there is a duopoly of Autoscout and Mobile.de, whereas in the UK, you have a monopoly of Autotrader. This extra level of fragmentation in Germany provides extra room for Gomoto to enter into. So in summary, both markets are much more similar than they're different, and really comes down to a localization execution game. So we firmly believe that we as Gomoto can disrupt the German market in the same way as Motorway did in the UK.
That's a very good question. Let me answer that from a product point of view. Based on our discussions with the dealers, they raised 2 important points. 1, that the car matches the ad. 2, they want to make sure that they would get the car once the auction is successful. And for that, we need to nail the digital appraisal and the pricing to make sure these 2 points are met. For the digital appraisal, we make it as easy as possible for the average user to create an accurate and high quality listing. Adding a video and audio recordings of the car and the engine and incorporate them with machine learning analysis in the process. For the pricing, it is important to strike the balance between showing an attractive price to the customer and ensuring that the expectations are met in an open auction. Currently, we are partnering with third-party solutions to offer an instant price to our customers. As we gather more transaction data in our platform and combine it with market data, we will be able to build our own accurate pricing engine.
So for the first 100 cars, initially we launched an MVP in Berlin, where we'll build out our learnings so that it enables us to do a nationwide launch after that. On the seller side, we acquire them by concentrating on search engine advertising, so mainly on Google AdWords. Over the last 2 months, we've already seen a promising trend of a reduction of the average lead cost by over 40%. On the buyer side, we're really concentrating on field sales, meaning we're going into the dealerships to build long-lasting relationships with them. This will help us to understand their needs, to cater to their needs, and really be in a good position when the markets should change. Going further, we will also want to, in the nationwide launch, we want to concentrate on bigger independent dealership groups. For that, we want to build out our field sales team. So for the next 1,000 cars from the seller side, we really want to focus on SEO to bring down the average cost of leads. Also on start to test out social to see if we can acquire additional sellers there. On the buyer side, we really want to start to focus on big dealership groups. This means we will build up partnerships with the big dealerships, setting an account management team into place, which looks after the relationship. We'll also further build out our telesales, which then will complement our field sales team to really take Gomoto to those next 1,000 sales.